Special needs students in the Las Vegas area are getting left behind. That's according to a new law firm specializing in fighting on behalf of those children and their parents.
Yeah, they say it's more important now than ever as some kids are falling behind. Crisis in the Classroom investigative reporter Tiffany Lane here in the studio to tell us more about how these lawyers are getting ahead of the problem and the steps they're willing to take if things don't change.
Yeah, good evening. The firm's goal is to work directly with schools before any legal action ever has to be taken. The hope is that students get the help they need for the education they deserve and are entitled to.
Kids are the future. We want to make sure that they are able to get the educational needs met and they're able to contribute positively to society.
Sam Castor, a managing partner at Lex Technica, says students' needs are not being met in our public schools, especially students with special needs, autism, and ADHD, who legally have rights that have to be followed.
Our biggest concern right now is that the school district isn't even identifying if somebody has a need.
So his team opened up a new firm called IEP Defenders. IEP stands for Individualized Educational Program. Now, under federal law, students with a disability are supposed to receive a plan with specialized instruction or services that parents agree on, essentially similar to a contract. Now, these plans can include requirements like extra reading minutes for a student with dyslexia or having a speech therapist meet with a student to help with articulation. Castor says families have been coming to him saying those plans are not being followed by their schools.
The federal government gives hundreds of millions of dollars every year to the school districts to help facilitate the educational needs of their students, especially those with disabilities, and those rights need to be honored.
Why is this such a big issue? Last year, about 1 in 8 students in the Clark County School District were on an IEP, a huge portion of the nearly 300,000 students. I spoke with a teacher last year who did not want to be identified because of fear of retaliation. She admitted IEPs in her classroom were not being followed.
We know our kids aren't getting our minutes. Our parents have no idea. They think that this IEP, that they're getting all their minutes every week. I had kids who didn't get seen. I didn't have anyone push into my classroom for months.
She said it came down to resources.
Everyone's hands are tied, and I understand because as a district we're so short-staffed, but our kids' needs need to be met. These are the most vulnerable children. They need every additional resource we can give them. And by not providing them this extra resource, they're not succeeding in school.
Now Castor's firm is addressing this. Attorneys will go to schools and find resolutions on how to meet the IEP requirements. And if that doesn't work, they can take a step further and take legal action. Overall, Castor says the district is the one that takes the hit.
It's basically free advocacy, and we provide our services, and then there's a contingency arrangement that the school has to reimburse us for our fees.
Now, Castor says the firm has had 20 cases and counting so far. He says all of the schools have complied with the resolutions they came up with so far. Castor believes the need is so great that over the next few years, his team will take on, he believes, 200 to 400 cases. I did reach out to CCSD for comment and I'm waiting to hear back. Now, send me your tips on issues impacting our schools, including this one. Do you have a student with an IEP that's not being met? You can scan that QR code on your screen or email schooltips@news3lv.com. You can also call 702-805-0489.